You're still watching Ways Now, International Day Against Homophobia. Biphobia and Transphobia is observed on May 17th and aims to coordinate international events that raise awareness of the LGBT rights violations and stimulate interest in LGBT rights works worldwide. By 2016, the commemoration had taken place in over 130 countries. The founders of the International Day Against Homophobia, as it was originally known, established the IDAHO committee to coordinate grassroots action in different countries to promote the day and to lobby for official recognition on May 17. That day was chosen to commemorate the decision to remove homosexuality from international classifications of disease of the World Health Organization in 1990. So we're talking tolerance today. So when I saw this day, I said, "Oh, what a what a coincidence!" This is one thing that a lot of people are not tolerant about. I am learning.
A lot of people are not.
Even though I do not support it, because I feel like biologically, there is an attraction a man and a woman have that is stronger than anything. But I'm learning to just say, you know what? I see you. I hear you. And I respect your decision. That's tolerance, right?
Absolutely.
And you can only understand tolerance from a point of love. You love people regardless. I mean, we are not perfect human beings, but I love you, I see, and that doesn't mean I need to bring you into my space. I can love you from afar. Can just keep you at bay and respect your decisions, right? That's it. And I think that's how we should translate tolerance across everything.
Understanding is key. I mean, we're different people, different individuals, and when you understand how people's either culture or society background where they're raised up and how they end up becoming the people that they are, then you will understand what made them to make the decisions that they made in life. I may not be happy with the decisions that you have made, but I can understand you're coming from somewhere, and I can learn to tolerate you the same way because we're different in our different ways. So I think the world needs more than ever understanding, compassion, and love, for fellow human beings, irrespective of the choices that they have made, even though we don't agree with them, because that's what makes us all different individuals all over the world.
Absolutely. It's so interesting. It's interesting how they say that he who has no sin should cast the first stone. People keep forgetting that no human being on earth is perfect, right? So the fact that somebody is, at the point where the person seems like exposed and all of that, everybody knows what is going on, the shenanigans happening, does not mean that that nobody has seen or heard anything about, don't have your sins, right? It's interesting. The subject of homosexuality is still one that, I keep wondering why, but you see, I remember that when I was going to school as a young girl, I had a friend that had gone to an all-girls school. She was so particular because she was very close to me. She wanted me to come to her school and all of that. She wanted me to come to her school. It was a federal government girls' school and all of that. But because of the stories I had heard about lesbianism and all, I said, Mom, I'm not going. I told my mother, I said never. But I could tell that at that point she had already been initiated because immediately she came back from boarding house. She was a bit different with me. She was a lot more touchy and all of that. But you see, if I was raised in a Buddhist shrine, I would be practicing Buddhism. If I was raised in a Hindu shrine, I would have been. So
absolutely.
So we do not own we do not have control over where we are, where we come from,
the families
our families that we're raised in, and all of that. But what we do have control over as humans is when we get to the realization,
the choices that we
don't begin to take choices after. Yes, intentionally. That's what you have the control over. You can intentionally say that yes, I might be this, but this is what I want to do going forward, right? So I think that would really help people, to some extent. All right, so We do not really have nice stories in the news today,
Unfortunately,
but we will try to just make the best. So what did you find for us?
Unfortunately, I have to go first to bring the really, really sad news about the explosion that took place earlier today. Alleged explosion, whether it is
because there are still speculations that it's still
there's a lot of speculation around it that there's still under investigation whether it's a bombing or an explosion, gas explosion, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, a lot of children were affected and many are feared dead in this explosion that took place in Kano. So the story has it that scores are feared dead following an explosion along the Court Road in Sabongeri, Kano State today. The explosion occurred near a private secondary school, Winners School, and destroyed the residential building and an affected part of the school. So the explosion occurred this morning, and some of the visuals that were totally disturbing on social media, we had incidents of school children crying for help. Some of the parents were seen running and rushing up and down trying to rescue their children. A lot of them were injured, they had blood all over them. Some of them were stranded, and they were still expecting responders on the scene. So as of the time of the report, security operatives were said to have been on ground. We had the Army, Police, NSCDC, and that has surrounded the place. And also the National Emergency Management Agency and Fire Service operatives were also on ground trying to rescue victims. It's really sad, and I can't even imagine the thought of taking my kids to school only to receive this kind of news that an explosion has taken place. And it tells on the bigger picture that Nigeria, this situation we have been crying over about the security, the state of security in the country, or even some of the things that people are not aware of around them. Whether it was a gas explosion, I don't even know why a gas plant or whatever it is will be located near a school. And if it was an actual explosion of some sort, then it tells that there is a security breach in the state. And this is not just about Kano State. We're talking about situations also in Lagos. We're talking about situations in different parts of the country. You don't even want to go to the southeast, where there have been countless of situations, unknown gunmen, whatever it is. This all boils down to the fact that there is a critical problem on ground that we need either the state government or the federal government to plug into and begin to seek ways of resolving this matter before it becomes way out of hand and uncontrollable.
Well, the police commissioner, I think, for Kano State had come out to say, because a lot of speculations when this first happened. I remember my mom sending me the video. These days she takes permission first. She said, please, can I send you? That there are other very horrible ones, but she didn't want to send it. But she wanted to
very gory details.
Yeah, she wanted to take my permission. I said, Mommy, please don't send it, because I'm already depressed as I am. Do not even add to my, so a lot of speculations was that it was a bomb blast. But the commissioner for police for Kano says that it is not a bomb blast. Samail Diko, he says that it is actually a gas
feed farm,
explosion. So let us believe that it's a gas explosion, and investigations are still ongoing. And I think the last time I checked, I read it was somewhere around 9 people that had died or something. So I don't know.
And a lot of people were injured.
I saw so many blood on the t-shirts of the children.
The children were covered in blood. A lot of them were injured.
And they were really toddlers,
small, really small. So
toddlers.
It broke my heart completely, because these children, I can only imagine the fear that they experienced when it actually occurred.
Yeah,
and some of them are still trying to locate their parents. Parents are still trying to locate some of their kids as well.
All right, so my story is also not so much of a great news. ASUU, they say gunshots as soldiers disperse protesting students in Ondo State. Men of the army have allegedly stormed the scene of the students where they were protesting. The students had gone out for day 2, right, to protest the lingering strike of the academic staff union, that's the ASUU. Videos obtained by correspondent had shown that soldiers marching in their numbers with guns alongside a van being driven after them, sporadically shooting in the air, and again just to disperse the students who had, you know, blocked some major parts of the state, including the Biniore Expressway. This is really sad. Why I actually picked this story, it just brought back 2020 October 10 what's called NSAS, October 20th 2020, where peaceful protesters were using military guys to disperse a peaceful protest.
Again,
now
it has come to play.
Students are not in school, right? Education is one of the biggest thing that can either make or mar any nation, right? And you have students on the road protesting. Instead of you to sit down to try to resolve the issue as a government, you're sending military guys, men of the Nigerian army. These children, they are not holding weapons. Like, are we not tired of the same story? This is the same thing. This is like, it's just a reminder, because they say that even shooting in the air is as dangerous as a direct gun to the chest, because it can hit anybody. A stray bullet can hit anyone, and we still have these things over and over again. Is it that our intelligence with the army, they are not smart enough to find ways to resolve, you know, any form of, or dissolve any form of gathering that, like a protest? Must you go in that direction of using guns? It does not make any sense to me. We've lost lives as a result of things like this, and a repetition. It means that no lesson was learnt from the NSAS protest. It means that it's going to be business as usual. It means that people do not have the right to say, you know what, we are tired of the status quo of things. Does this mean, does it not mean anything to the government to see what it is that you're doing to this nation?
I'm not even sure if that conversation has been had. What are the lessons that we're taking away from situations around, as in what can we do better? Because it would take a government who is forward thinking, who wants to make change, and who wants to be able to see that change come to pass, to be able to take that step back and review. How are we doing? What are the things that we're doing well? Some of the things we've implemented, how well have we done? What can we do better? It's a government that is taking that direction. Unfortunately, we haven't seen it in the actions that have been taken so far. So all we continue to see is a repetition of what has happened before, where we still have, you know, military personnel.
I just don't want to believe that they don't have intelligent people in the military that cannot find a more less harmful way to disperse any protest or something. Why would you always go back to shooting in the air? It is no, it's a no-no
conversation until something is done with regards to sitting down and taking a look. We may not be able to see those changes that are necessary, because it's people who are thinking that the people that they're serving really matter, that will be able to take that step back. And I'm hoping that at some point that this will be done, whether in the near future or even now, because it's really becoming something that can cause even more chaos before we know it.
All right, so we'll take a break now. When we come back from the break, we want to discuss Deborah Samuel's death, you know, and let's just analyze and see how we can make sense of all of this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.